Hey, by the way, can you see that? Becky did the makeup on it, man. She
Oh, I
tried to hide it.
forgot. I forgot you had your new birthmark
My
that
Eye of
you got
Sauron.
from doing your yard work.
I feel like it's looking for hobbits. Hey there, and welcome to Career Goals, a show to help you find greater balance between work and family. I'm your host, Tim Chesney, and with me is my co host, the Pastor Mark Brewer. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hey man, it's going fantastic. I'm so glad to be here today. Today's going to be really fun.
It's going to be fun, man. I'm really excited to start this show, Career Goals. And we're going to start with our first career question. Do you remember your very first job?
Yes, I do remember my very first W-2 income earning job. I had some other jobs before that, but yeah, the first W-2 job that was official was Taco Bueno. That's right, Taco Bueno in DeSoto, Texas was my first jump into working for someone else.
Dude, I love Taco Bueno. I'm going to probably make
I do
people
too,
mad.
man. Listen, Taco Bueno was where it was at, man. The Bueno burgers and the party tacos. The problem was I spent a lot of my paycheck eating the food there, even with the discount. It's unbelievable how much
No
money
free meals? They didn't hook you up?
Nah, I think it was just discount back then. Maybe they've changed their game plan, but back then it was you get a discount. But I ate
Got
so
it.
much food, it was as if there was no discount.
Explain this Bueno burger, because I'm not really, I don't remember that part of it.
Well, I don't know if they still have it, but back in the day, man, it was this really soft bun and just taco meat and cheese. Man, it's fantastic. I don't know why it was so delicious, but I could eat 4 or 5 of those and then 3 or 4 or 5 party tacos. That was my usual meal there. So you
Dude,
can see how I was, and I was probably only making like $2.15 an hour. So the money was dissipating as fast as it was coming in.
You're like, basically, I'm working to continue to eat here.
Pretty much. Pretty
Basically.
much.
I love
Yeah.
that. So, was the Bueno burger the best part of that job?
It was one of the best parts of the job, but I think, looking back, probably the best part of that job, and I was there for about 6 months, was my manager. It was a guy named Oscar, and I look back now and I think that guy really had a strong gear for helping me move toward upward mobility. So from the very first day, he was about helping me continue to move up the ladder in that organization. Going from the cashier to making the food to I became the steamer, and that's the person who's rolling out all of the foundational pieces of the food. That was
Nice.
where the real money was, and he immediately started helping me learn how to do that. So yeah, that was probably the best thing. It was very helpful.
By real money, what are we talking? How much more were you getting?
Then I moved from like 215 to like 285 an hour. There's people that are watching this, they have no context. They're going, "What are you talking about? 285?" Yep, that's the way we roll back in the old days, people.
Dude, this show is gonna basically date us. Basically, we're both. I mean, I was my minimum wage I think was 5 something an hour when I first started. And my first job, 16 years old, I got in my car as soon as I had that license, drove straight to Grand Prairie, Texas, and I got a job at the United Artists Movie Theater.
Oh yeah, I remember that theater. That was a heavy hitter theater back in the day.
Yeah, man, and I had that. I'm gonna give you a visual of my uniform. So I had that. It was just awful, man. It was this teal and purple, like checkered uniform with this black stuff and black dress pants and black dress shoes. And honestly, the very worst thing about those shoes was they had no grip. So I'd be back there like serving, you're behind the counter and you're serving people popcorn and whatever, drinks or whatever. But all the popcorn butter was just like spilling over
Oh
the
yeah.
side and it's just getting the whole floor just greasy. It was like working on an ice rink. So I was slipping around. I was literally sliding from the
Right.
cash register to the popcorn area. It was
Oh, we
awful.
had some of those issues too at the Bueno. Yeah, I think the industry standard for the type of matting and flooring that you were supposed to have back then hadn't really evolved. And so,
Yeah.
tennis shoes and grease created quite a slick environment.
Yeah, and I they got those pads like literally probably like 3 months into it, so I was out at that point of not the job, but I was out of behind the counter, and I was the ticket taker, which was the cool position to have because you had some power at that point. You're like, I don't know if this stuff doesn't look quite right, man. I gotta. No, I really didn't care. I let pretty much anybody in, and which was really the best part of the job is, man, I got free movies for like 3 years, and I only worked there for like a year.
I love it.
As long as you knew somebody, that was there, you just kind of give them the head nod.
Yeah, that was the job that kept on giving. That's fantastic.
That was
nice. Like your retirement plan. Just you kept having access to the movies. Fantastic.
Dude, my friends and my wife Becky. I mean, we went when we were dating. We went for so many free movies because that was the cheap date, man. Let's just go to a movie. We don't have to pay for anything. I'll take you there. So it was nice, man. And it's funny, we talk about our jobs, and I wanted us to talk about our original jobs, but dude, we're not in those jobs anymore, are we?
No, we're not. And there have been a lot of jobs since then.
Yeah, we've definitely gone through our share. And we had to figure out, is there a balance here? We started careers, we've done different things, and in the process, our family has grown, we've gotten married, we've had kids, and in the process of all that, we're trying to figure out, how do we balance this?
Yeah, that's the thing that's definitely the thing that I have noticed, that issue of figuring out how to find that work-life balance has always been an issue, and it's still an issue. In fact, when young adults come to our organization to train in our leadership school, one of the first things, almost every single meeting that I've ever had with a young adult is, how do you figure out how to balance your life? That's the big question. Even at 18, 19, 21, they're trying to figure that out, and it never goes away, and it's always seasonal.
Yeah, it is amazing. The seasonal aspect is what kind of, I don't know, it actually throws me off a little bit, because you start to think, all right, I'm getting it. And then something else changes in your life, and you're like, okay, I have no idea. Like, this is just rough, and it's just starting back over in a way. But yeah, I think it depends on the person. It depends on the season. And, we had the same thing. Becky and I, when I got out of education, our goal was, we're going to spend time together as a family. And if whatever we do work-wise has got to support that. So that's what we hold on to. And if ultimately it's not bringing us more time together as a family, it's not going to be a good fit for us. So that was kind of how we measured, what we did, which I think it worked for us at that time, and God is continuing to shift things around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I love this idea that it's different from person to person and from season to season. Yeah. And that's even what this show is about. It's not that there's one fix. There are seasonal fixes, and there's a lot of people that are navigating through different pathways. And so we definitely want to provide kind of a broad array and spectrum of people bringing insight and really just what's the next step that I could take in this season that I'm currently in to move it forward. And so it's kind of exciting. We've got a really awesome guest with us today. Steve Nieves is just fantastic. I mean, he is a genius real estate guy and business guy, and you know what, even more so, family man, and cares a lot about making sure that work-life balance is in place, and he's winning in both areas. So we're excited to bring him up next.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We now have Steve Nieves with us, and we're so excited. Steve is a really good friend of ours. He is an amazing communicator. He's an amazing real estate agent, and he actually is a broker for his own company, Real Estate Market Experts. Steve, how are you today, man? It's good to have you on.
I'm doing great. Good to be on. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome.
Good, man. We're glad you're here. This is fantastic. Thanks for joining us today.
Dude, I have a question for you real quick. This is something that Mark and I were talking about. Do you remember your very first job?
I do. I was working for Plaza Pharmacy as a delivery boy at the age of 14 in New York City.
So you were a drug runner?
A drug runner. I delivered drugs.
Yeah.
Legal drugs.
Legal drugs. We have that, right? I'm gonna block out legal and just throw everybody off at this point, because that's just gonna mess with everybody really bad. So you were a drug runner, a legal drug runner. What was the best part of that job for you?
The best part of that job is the gentleman I was working for, Brent Pliskin. He was my mentor, and he's pretty much ones that laid my foundation, taught me everything I know today, and learned many, many lessons through him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you have any negatives in that job?
The only negative I can think about is, I missed my childhood as a high school student. I was working full time, so I went full time school, full time work, and then get to join any teams and do what most high school kids did. But I worked full time since I was 14.
Man, that's
Wow,
crazy.
that's interesting. So all of the things that you were learning about business and interpersonal skills and developing relationships and producing early on. That's great.
From a young age, man. It's pretty crazy to think about you doing that. If I don't think I would have been working full time at 14. I was way too immature, and probably still am a little bit. Mark, are you agreeing with that? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying,
Well, that's awesome, man. You've been amazing at real estate, and you got into that at some point. But what actually led you into that market or doing that type of thing as a career?
I was just always looking to grow, always looking to get better, and from the pharmacy, working in the pharmacy, I was a manager of a bagel shop after that, and then wanted more and wanted to grow, and became a concierge guy, and just looking for that one good fit, and bumped into real estate back in '98, and ever since love helping people.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of Career Goals. If you have any questions, comments, or even a topic of discussion you think we could incorporate into the show, we would love to hear from you. You can actually click the link in the description and give us your feedback. We'd love to have it, and every entry is actually a submission into our weekly giveaway. So click on that link and tell us what you think. Has it been, I mean, I know real estate, and for those of you who don't know, Steven and I actually got a chance to work together a few years back, but it's busy. It occupies a lot of your time. Has it been difficult to kind of find or figure out some sort of balance between the work and the family? I know you've got a beautiful wife and lovely family there.
Yeah, I was searching for balance for like 10 or 12 years and could never find it until I found out what the truth was. There's no such thing as balance. One of my business coaches told me you got to look at quality of time instead of quantity of time. Once I hugged that and learned that, they all changed. I got my balance. I make sure that the time I spend, what I'm doing, is quality time. Just setting in your schedule and not letting anything else interfere what you're doing, whether it's work, personal. You're doing something that you see as fun. Just razor sharp focus on what you're doing at any given time. And I
love that. I'm hearing your answer, but one of the things that you said was for 10 or 12 years you were searching for it. So what was one of the things that in that search you were realizing, man, this thing is taking a hit, or this piece is really peeling off? How did that look for you?
I'll give you two choices, two experiences. One time I was having dinner with my wife, and we had reservations at a restaurant, and I left, and she was waiting 2.5 hours later. I came back.
Buddy, first of all, I know your wife.
To show one quick house.
I'm sorry? I'm trying to figure out how you still stayed alive after you kept her waiting.
She's very supportive and very, very lucky to have her. But we were at the restaurant, got to the restaurant. I got a call. I needed to look at a house. I said, sweetheart, there's only going to be one house. I looked at the house. They fell in love with the house. We're running to the office, writing a contract. 2.5 hours later doing it. And then I said, I know something has to change here. And as I was searching, the second one was me at a seminar. It was my first seminar on trade leadership. I don't know, 9 years ago. And one of the guys on the stage said, don't ever put your family second place. And he used the example as he's going home, he puts his hand out to tell his family, hey, I'm still on that one call. And I had to stop for the next 45 minutes. I didn't hear anything else. I said, what am I doing? because I picture myself every time I get home, I'm making that one last call, that one last negotiation. And as I go in, my girls are running towards me to give me a hug, and I'm going, and that after I heard that guy say that, I said, no, it's going to change today. And that day, actually, everything changed. I made that one last call, but I stood in the car. When I got home, I turned the phone off. Man. And gave my family the time and ease. You know, these phones have something pretty awesome. It's called airplane mode. And when you don't want to answer a call, you put it on airplane mode. It's not only when you're on the airplane. It works at home. It works at any time. So put it on airplane mode, 30 minutes, an hour, and you return calls when you have to.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the lesson I learned through those things.
Man, that's incredible. Dude, I was getting goosebumps here. I don't know, you can see them, man. Just here thinking about just a picture of you coming in and what that also did once you stopped and finished that call in the car, and you know how the message, even without speaking, that you're giving to your family by saying, no, I'm here for you. Like, I'm here to engage and to have that quality time with you. Dude, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, very helpful and very practical. And I loved how you framed it that, hey, you were on a journey for about a decade trying to figure out how to find that balance or that level of quality along with the quantity. And your action step is really actionable. I think a lot of us that are watching this right now can go, how am I doing that handout? Hold on a second while I get this last bit of work in, and being able to put our hand down and engage our family and put work on airplane mode is really, really good as a next step, man. I appreciate so much you jumping in and providing a profound but simple step that we could take, man. Awesome. This is fantastic today.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate your time.
No, thank you.
Wow, that was fantastic. And you know what? I appreciate so much about Steven. That guy has put in the work to build his businesses from the ground up, and he knows what it's like to work for someone, and then he knows what it's like to be the boss of everybody. And in that journey, he's found some really good ways to balance it all out. And man, nobody works harder than him, but I also don't know very many people that work more diligently on that family life balance. And what a step, that action step. Hey, just, instead of putting your hand up to your family, get that thing on airplane mode and engage them right out of the box as you walk in the door. Even though that's a simple step, man, I'm just thinking if everybody did that this week, they might find a really profound change happening in their family life, even this week. So I loved it.
It's great. It's so good. I mean, I know personally I've struggled with that. As soon as you start owning your own business, I feel like, and you don't have the 9 to 5 that you can leave, it's just constant. You can't get away from it. So you have to kind of compartmentalize it in a way, and you have to say, this is the time I'll work and this is the time that we're going to hang out and engage, but you really need to shut it off. And that's been big for me. And that was just a great reminder, man. I was like, okay, I'm going to hit that phone. I'm going to do I'm going to put it on airplane mode. And ultimately I'm going to make sure that when I'm there to engage, I'm engaging, and the family feels that. So I think that was great. I'm so happy he was able to come on and share that with us. And dude, I'm happy we got to do this today. It's been fun. I got to hang out with Mark Brewer.
Hey, we're planning on doing this a bunch, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. I'm really having fun, and we got a lot of great stuff planned. So we want to thank you for joining us today and just giving us a little bit of your time. We know that time is precious, so giving us a little time to share some of these tips with you is just something that we are very thankful for, that we get to share that. So this has been Career Goals, and this is a show to help you find a greater balance between work and family. So again, I'm your host, Tim Chesney, and I'm here with Mark Brewer, and we just wish you a wonderful rest of the day. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye, guys.